Hi everyone. In my last video, I talked about platelet activation as part of the natural process of blood clotting and the fact that platelet hyperactivation occurs with microclotting. Now I want to go into more detail about platelet hyperactivation itself in the context of long COVID. The COVID spike protein has been shown to directly cause platelet hyperactivation as seen by fluorescence microscopy. In this experiment, healthy, unactivated platelets were treated with purified recombinant spike protein followed by purple fluorescence marker for platelet activation. The strong purple fluorescence signal demonstrates that the platelets are hyperactivated. Very little purple fluorescence signal is detected in the untreated control. Following hyperactivation induced by the spike protein, the platelet releases the contents of its granules into the extracellular matrix and begins expressing multiple cell surface receptors that contribute to coagulation, inflammation, and the immune response. So does platelet hyperactivation actually happen in long COVID patients? Yes, it does. Blood samples from long COVID patients were examined for platelet hyperactivation using both a purple fluorescent marker and a green fluorescent marker. These patient samples showed robust platelet hyperactivation as seen by the purple and green fluorescence signals. Importantly, in these studies, platelet hyperactivation was observed in all 80 of the long COVID patients evaluated, but not in healthy patient controls. Last, I want to share how the COVID spike protein causes platelet hyperactivation. It turns out that platelets express a high level of the ACE2 receptor on their cell surface. The COVID spike protein readily binds to the ACE2 receptor. If you remember, the ACE2 receptor is the main binding site for the COVID virus and spike protein in lung cells upon initial COVID infection. Here's an SEM image of COVID virus particles binding to a platelet, showing that this interaction does happen. So COVID spike protein directly binds to ACE2 receptors on the cell surface of the platelet, thereby directly triggering platelet hyperactivation and initiating the downstream effects of coagulation, inflammation, and immune response. If you want to see a written summary of this info and these images, check out my bio and click the link. And as always, you can follow my research and give me feedback by leaving a comment, checking out my bio, and following me. Thanks, and see you next time.